Excellent, and welcome to the TADSummit online conference. Now, we had a little bit of a schedule change because unfortunately we had to drop out, but I'm really grateful that Bohdan was able to step in. So, Bohdan, welcome to TADSummit online conference again.
Hi, Alan. Thank you for your invitation and
Uh,
pleasure to participate.
Great, and also thank you for agreeing. Because it was one of those where it's like, damn, there's like, 4 days to go. Oh no, who can I get to fill in? And we were having a conversation because one of the things that we've seen, well, over the past few weeks, there's, a lot of, interest for sure in RCS. I mean, we've seen some posts, not necessarily, wholly endorsing, because I think, there are big vendors that go, oh, yes, that's great, it changes the world. And we all know that it doesn't, especially why. When it's from the same vendors that have basically made SMS the mess it is today. So it's, I think, and I was explaining actually to Clerk Chat, because they're doing some really interesting work in this space. And as I said, I have everything crossed for them, is it's because of all the hype, because it's unthinking and because of the lack of, real world analysis, world discussion around some of the issues that create, with some of the people, quite a negative reaction. So, there's always, oh, our supporters and our detractors. Well, maybe if you were more balanced in how you talk about RCS, we'd have a more balanced discussion, and that would help all the brands that are looking on and going, well, what's the pricing? Because it's not public, for one of the operators. So again, it's a complex situation where I think having these frank discussions helps people understand some of the risks so they're not surprised when stuff happens. So that's really the whole point that we're doing with this. So that sets up the background. So maybe, Botan, you can share, some of the things that you're seeing with some of the members of the community that maybe get involved in nefarious activities and what you're seeing they're getting up to as RCS. I mean, it's still ridiculously small numbers from an A to P perspective, but still, it's getting on people's radar. So, what are some of the things that we're going to be seeing coming up?
Okay, so let me share a little bit from my
Yeah.
recent experience about RCS. I communicated with some business owners. Their main business it's RCS, and they trust that it's possible to replace SMS for all kinds of businesses, enterprises with RCS.
Hmm.
Some of them they have successful customers
Yeah.
and especially in European Union, for
Hmm.
example.
Yeah.
So they help the enterprises to increase margin and
Yeah.
also ROI, return of investments. They even trying to help with monetization for mobile operators with RCS.
Gotcha.
Uh, from my point of view, this service is still expensive if
Hmm.
you compare with uh, classic A2P SMS,
Yeah.
because in SMS it's still flexible price, very um dependent on the market and on a type or let's say product of
Yes.
that
Yeah.
traffic. If it's
Exactly.
marketing like casino, it can be expensive.
Yes.
If it's OTP like one-time password, it's a standard
Yeah.
price. Again, this issue with bypasses, gray routes, all still on the market,
Yeah.
available. I can say fully available.
Hmm.
Someone even trying to set up virtual SIM boxes that I talked this week. It's interesting. If it's available, they don't need real hardware and they can use virtual SIM cards, virtual eSIMs maybe, and they
Yeah.
will operate virtual SIM boxes. So this is a good question how security services, law enforcement, and international police, how they will identify those suppliers for illegal um,
Virtual.
bypasses.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what's happening
and
there
block.
is that they hacked into somebody's SS7 network and then they're just running their software. It's just a bank of eSIMs and they're just driving the traffic in there via,
Yeah,
the hacked SMS connection.
yeah, so why I am sharing this because it's directly connected with RCS. So
Okay.
for every business owner, for every marketing chief marketing officer, it's extremely important to understand what kind of product they are buying.
Yeah.
Like what is inside this technology. It's not only about APIs that we can interconnect you with few minutes. It's
Yeah.
so easy to deploy it,
Hmm.
but to understand security, is it
Yes.
safe or not? What
Yeah.
about risks? We are going to invest our budget in this technology, RCS, and can you compare like advantages, disadvantages with the standard SMS, or
Yeah.
why will we pay like in X 5, 10 times higher price for RCS service if we already use this A2P SMS for last 20 plus years?
Yes.
We trust our suppliers. We don't want to touch it. It's working well.
Hmm.
So this is, I believe, good questions from end customers
Yes.
like business owners.
Hmm.
Um, and I absolutely agree with you, Alan, about what's happening with security with mobile operators, like that example with South Korea.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
they cannot replace physically more than 25 million SIM cards. So this is the biggest hack that happened.
Yeah.
Uh, they announced for this month, May, they can replace total amount around 6 million SIM cards physically
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
So around 20 millions not possible.
Yeah.
So they can use all those 20 million SIM cards for SIM swap fraud,
Yep.
to take loans, to use fake identities worldwide. And
Yeah.
they continue to do this everywhere with all networks. So for RCS, recently I saw increase of posts with same that we call smishing,
Hmm.
phishing in SMS.
Yes.
Uh, so they now adjusted it for RCS and they are trying to mask it successfully, I can say, for marketing, sending
Oh, okay.
logo with all details
Yeah.
like end customers. They think that it's a real brand,
Yeah.
registered trademark, but again, all with links or phone numbers. And when they
Gotcha.
click that link in RCS or when they call that phone number, they have then troubles.
Yes.
Money disappear or someone hack their credentials like login, password, all personal financial data. So this is a new kind of fraud scam.
Gotcha. Hmm.
And I know that law enforcement, security services, they very interested to stop it, to
Yeah.
filter and block it. They already work with some mobile operators. Um,
So this is a mobile operator that's been compromised and they are registering business entities
Yeah,
but it's a fraudster, and then that fraudster is sending marketing messages, but with hot links for particular offers or whatever that then is now. How are they getting access when the customer clicks on that RCS message hot link? Is it doing like a download of software? I mean, because that's one of the challenges with RCS is it's a button. You've got a brand. We have a special offer. Click to find more, and you click, but it's not necessarily the click you thought it was. It's taking you off to a site that potentially downloads an app or software that then enables your passwords to be
yeah.
sucked out of the phone.
A lot of different schemes, I can
Okay.
say. Scammers, they have a deep technical
Yes.
background. Mostly all they have various scenarios. For example, they can write a script.
Oh,
So
yes. Yeah.
it's not just a website link,
Yep.
but when you click it, you actually start running application, and
Yes.
that application can do everything that they want, like sending your logins password or installing
Gotcha.
hidden processes in your system, like some kind of malware or backdoor
Yeah.
or any injections. So they modify it and analyze market. They usually buy something ready from the dark web,
Hmm.
and then if it's possible they upgrade or modify
Yeah.
those scripts or um, malware,
Yeah.
spyware, any illegal software that they can use then to monetize, because almost everything they do, they previously plan and invest money. It's not for free. It's not
No.
just for students or uh, some script kiddies. No, it's much higher
Yeah.
level, more professional.
Yes.
Uh, I can give you one example that uh, they robbed some businesses
Mhm.
and asked for bitcoins
Yeah.
for $2.5 million.
Wow.
And even when they received it, they didn't stop, so they
Yeah.
continued.
Yeah.
Finally, some of them were arrested by law enforcement, by international police, but not all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so here it's a good point for people, first of all, to understand that when you receive any RCS, uh, you need to understand if it's legal or not before
Yes.
clicking a link or
Yes.
before replying to that phone number, especially if it's from well-known brands,
Hmm.
or what is now on the top, it's a cryptocurrency like Binance, or you saw it news what happened with Coinbase,
Yes. Yeah.
how they hacked and dropped millions dollars from that. So they are trying all the ways to use this RCS technology. I'm personally thinking that SMS will not be replaced many years.
Yes.
Too many mobile operators interested to keep it as a service.
Yeah.
Still,
Well, there's too many services, all the roaming, all basically IoT. So there's so many specialized applications that can't switch to RCS because of the devices. So yeah, I agree. SMS is not going away no matter what people claim. But I think the risk exposure with RCS, I think, is poorly understood at the moment. In fact, David Kasem did a post yesterday. It was only yesterday, and that post was basically a scammer was impersonating him and pinging, yeah, SMSing his people, asking them to send him gift certificates, the Apple gift certificates. I mean, I've had that where their phone's been stolen, the scammer goes through, sees all the connections, reads the messages and the emails, and understands, oh, this person does this with this person. Oh, maybe I could insert saying, oh, I need an emergency. Could you do this for me? And they're very compelling, because you get the message and you assume it's from the person, not a scammer, because you've had thousands, if not more, messages with that person. And then, it didn't catch me completely because the English wasn't perfect. It was like, it's the tells. And all I said was, okay, when was the last time we met? And immediately it was like, I don't you trust me? Blah, blah, blah. Oh God, this emotional stuff. And it was like, okay, thank you. I just deleted. That was it. I'm not, that person's number is dead to me now. I will never believe anything that comes from that. So I think, but that's very simple. And now, just quickly to wrap up the David Kaysen story, within less than 24 hours, it was like 150 plus likes. Like, people were sort of commenting on it. Yesterday, late afternoon, he said that there were over 100 and so no 55,000 impressions. So there's lots of interest on what's happening at the moment, and that was just in very basic SMS. And I think we're only starting to scratch the surface on RCS. So I think that's why I was so keen that we spent some time chatting with you in what you're seeing in the market and the risks. Because you're right, it's all those subtle things. When you receive that message, were you expecting it? Is this part of a conversation that you've been having for some time? Because in some ways, it could just be done P2P. It doesn't have to be done A to P necessarily. So, because they're just, getting stuff off the dark web, the scripts, and they're just passing to you content that enables a script that when you click on, because it's like, oh yeah, I'll confirm, or I'll vote on that. That looks fun. And then it's firing off a whole range of things in the background that you're unaware of.
Yeah. Also, another good example how nowadays fraudsters passing enterprise security.
Hmm.
So they are trying to become customers of cybersecurity and information security companies, uh,
Oh,
showing faked KIC documents, kind of certificates of registration, incorporation
yeah,
that they buy in dark web
yeah,
for $5-10. So it's so cheap to show this certificate, and when that enterprise checking number, legal address, everything fine, they think
yes,
that this company really registered it somewhere
yeah,
in any country, named in that KIC document,
yeah,
in that certificate. But what's happening next? Next, they can do prepayment and send this RCS campaign. Same
yeah,
like they did many years in SMSs. So when they send this RCS campaign with text, logo, brand, everything, they also shared KIC document like
yes.
confirmation that they are legal company with
Hmm.
legal address, bank account, everything. Uh, Supplier, this vendor for RCS, have no idea really what's happening,
Yeah,
because from legal point they have all necessary documents,
yes,
they received payment, all good from legal and financial
yeah,
point of view. So it's more complicated, and those service providers now struggling how to understand this customer is real or no. You cannot travel like today to Nigeria and tomorrow for somewhere in Sri Lanka or Mongolia.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
too expensive,
Yeah.
especially when they asking for sending campaign like for $1,000 or around $2,000.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, they can ask for some credit limits to send that RCS campaign later,
Yes.
and they don't know if they will pay that credit limit finally, or they just send this RCS fraud, rob people, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and disappear.
Yeah.
So the
Exactly.
challenge.
Interesting. Extra interesting. Now, I I'm not seeing many reports of, you know, RCS thefts at the moment. So, I mean, are you seeing them, or is it more, it's a potential? The path is there. We're seeing people experimenting with it, but it doesn't seem, because the numbers are low at the moment of RCS
Yeah,
customers. I don't know.
yeah, we don't see reports. I'm sure we will not see any reports, maybe even till the end of this year.
Okay.
Why? Because it's still a new technology that they are trying from different ways how
Yeah.
to penetrate it, how to pass all filters, firewalls,
Gotcha.
etc. They are checking the markets, different markets.
Yeah.
Not in every country it's available
Yes.
ourselves, and even when this fraud scam happening with RCS, they don't want to share it
Yeah.
officially. Of course, no makes sense to post it on LinkedIn or anywhere because other customers they will skip RCS and they will prefer to use classic A2P SMS. It's
Yeah, with all
logical.
the risks there as well. But again, it's because the client is both the messaging and the browser. So it's sort of like combined all in one. So it's not just it receives the message, but it can execute the code that's within the message as well. It's both powerful in delivering that integrated one-click experience, absolutely, but without the necessary security protections, then it opens up a whole host. Because I'm seeing some in the ecosystem talking about how, if it's on Android, Google will have the protections there. I mean, maybe, I mean, let's face it, Gmail is very powerful. I mean, that
Yeah.
does protect from a lot of P2P fraud from an email perspective. And they can easily extend that out because even on any Android phone, on Android messages, you have the sort of blocked and spam. And it does, it captures every day. There's something that you don't notice because, and that's great. That's exactly what I want as a consumer. I just don't see the stuff that's been thrown at me. So I guess there is a rule there. How far Apple goes down that path, I don't know. Because I see some Apple customers, because I'm Android, complaining about, because they see what I receive in terms of spam, and it's relatively small. While they're, on a different carrier as well, but they're receiving daily multiple spam messages that I just get filtered away. So I feel I don't have the data to say Apple's not necessarily protecting its ecosystem as rigorously as, say, Android is. And I would anticipate that that would extend to RCS. Do you agree?
Yeah, 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 I agree. Absolutely agree with you. Also, I can say that if I compare level of this spam and Apple phishing nowadays and maybe
Yes.
5, 6 years ago, I
Yeah.
see decrease. Nowadays, I see some good decrease exactly for Apple phishing because 5, 6 years ago it was like a mess. They
Yes.
sent millions messages with iCloud, with all those things to steal
Yes.
access and resell it uh, everywhere.
Yep.
And And now it's more focused on other things, on other industries. I am sure that some startups um, they more focused on cybersecurity and this monetization of this phishing fraud
Hmm.
scam using AI technology.
Yes.
Almost every day I see new startups with AI technology.
Yes.
So this machine learning helps a lot, even replacing software engineers, system administrators, DevOps, and many other professional technical managers.
Hmm.
It will be only increase of this in nearest future.
Yeah.
So they all will transform to operators of AI and machine learning machines. But SMS, including RCS, maybe they will create a new technology with AI, and we will not see at all any SMSs or RCSs if we don't use it.
Yeah.
Maybe we will see. If we prefer a call, it will transform SMS to a call for OTP. Why not? It's also
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so technology uh, changes all the time,
Yeah.
and I believe, really believe that finally they will filter and monetize all this illegal stuff,
Yes.
will increase penalties, especially for mobile operators,
Yeah.
because this is their responsibility, not wholesale companies or SMS hubs, aggregators. They are too small. They don't have enough money to pay high penalties.
Yeah.
They
That's
can lose
true.
their license and become bankrupt immediately if
Yes.
they receive
Yeah.
this 100,000 euro or dollars penalty. It's too
Yeah. Yeah.
much for
Yeah.
them.
And it's
Uh,
true even for carriers. There are a lot of small carriers that, that exposure is a significant risk. But I agree with you. It really feels as if it's like with email, there are a whole host of network related functions that could be used within the network to protect users of email in terms of the risks and, even just the content. So I think it will need to take that type of approach to provide the necessary protections. And it has to be done at an industry level, but at an industry level where the speed of execution is more like a startup because the scammers, the crooks just operate at the speed of thought, not at the speed of an international meeting next quarter where we all gather together and we have a nice meals and we decide some protections that deal with issues that were like last year. So yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting one to see how the market reacts because protections need to be in the network, but how quickly they come in, well, let's see. We can keep our fingers crossed that Google can solve all our problems.
Yeah, and you remember we discussed with you that issues with the USA market, like they are passing all this campaign registry
Yes,
uh, and all the services that responsible to protect and users opt-in customers,
yes,
all mobile operators, like what they do, they using not only Symbox's hardware locally. I have no idea how it's possible, but they still um, use them with this plus one and same
yes.
they use plus five two.
Yeah,
I
as you were
remember
saying,
you
yeah.
mentioned Mexico, like
Yeah, Mexico, yeah, yeah,
op
yeah.
operate from Mexico
Yeah,
and sending this huge spam. Like the most popular, I guess, it's a post phishing. So
yes.
they're marking like Amazon delivery or eBay or any other, like
Yeah.
people receiving
Your
SMS. You're paying.
DoorDash delivery or yeah, anything that people just click on, yeah.
Yeah, they click like, where is my parcel? I need to pay some fee, or this is a gift like Sony PlayStation 7.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, you just capture the weakness of people. And then, oh, it's been mislabeled, it's been missent. Great, we get a new games machine.
And this is social engineering.
Correct.
So, human factor, we discussed with you previously on our
Yes.
podcast. It will help in future, and even AI will not protect because the social engineer always win. It's
Yes,
like,
absolutely. It's so powerful. It really is. And it's a discipline in itself, seeing some of the campaigns that are created. But this has been, again, really great. I hope people, think about this, take it to heart, and understand that all the issues, all the questioning when we're answering a text message, we apply even more so when we're responding with an RCS message. So it's all on us, unfortunately. I mean, maybe in time we'll start to get better protections, but there's going to be a period where the scammers, the crooks are out there playing with the new technology and finding ways that they can make even more money out of people that just don't think before they press, on that button.
yeah, you are right. And I will be happy to enjoy RCS technology in future.
Yeah,
I don't like SMS. I
yeah,
don't use it much, only sometimes. But I receive marketing promotional SMSs from time to time.
yeah,
So RCS, of course, it's brighter, it's newer, it's much more interesting for the customers
yeah,
to see this message instead of simple SMS,
yeah.
just text, or when you see this multimedia like pictures,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
So let's see what will be with RCS, and we do a good thing that we are sharing our experience. People react,
yes,
even businesses, they see, they watch our podcasts, and I already have some good feedbacks worldwide. I
excellent.
see their reactions, I see that they follow up, they
Yep,
interested to know more about technology, about innovations.
yep, exactly. And somebody that just presents a fair and balanced perspective rather than everything's great, there's nothing to worry about. I think, but that's true for every technology. It's
Yeah.
presented in that way. And we'll get there. It's not like we're saying doom and gloom. It's just there's a period where I think we all, as consumers, need to be a little bit more circumspect until the ecosystem is robust enough to protect us. Because that's the bottom line. Just like with email, the messaging ecosystem needs to get to that point of robustness where it's protecting its users. Because that's something that I get a little bit annoyed about, where you've got basically the old boys network going, well, email's just as bad. And it's like, no, it's not. Email is not as bad as SMS. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that rat hole. But again, this has been excellent, Bohdan. Thank you so much for stepping in at the last minute and providing such an insightful discussion. And I'll just keep everything crossed for you in terms of the challenges you're facing in Kiev at the moment.
Thank you, Alan. My pleasure to talk with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye.